Welcome back to Walsall Fan TV. The Joy and the Pain podcast is also live. Today we're talking to Cormac. He's from Drogheda, or not Drogheda, as many people say.
Well, hello.
Welcome, Cormac. Welcome to Walsall Fan TV.
Thank you very much for having me on.
It's a pleasure. It's exciting times, isn't it? The Trevella Group, when they bought into Walsall, they said they wanted a multi-club sort of group, and we weren't sure how that would work. We sort of initially thought that maybe they'd be buying an American club or something like that, but popping into Ireland and getting hold of Drogheda as is the game. How are you guys seeing things over there?
Well, yeah, it's going in cautiously optimistic. I think everybody is. I think a lot of the supporters here are, we've seen it happen with other clubs in the league with ownership and stuff. So with problems there up the road in Dundalk, our neighbours had American ownership group come in a few years ago, and it didn't go particularly well off the pitch and on the pitch. And they ended up leaving there with the club in the same predicament and didn't improve anything whatsoever. So I think everyone here is a bit cautiously optimistic that we won't end up like our neighbours up there, and that it will be a good thing for the club to progress on and off the pitch for the future.
When Trevella first bought Walsall, people looked into the detail and saw that one of the directors had got he was managing a fund of 28 billion or something like that. And people sort of thought that we'd got Abramovich or something coming to join us. But I think they are of more slender means. What they said they'd do with Walsall, it would be incremental improvements. So they're not sort of going to throw millions at it, expecting a snap change. It would be steady, incremental improvements. And I think they'll probably be looking for the same for you guys, I think. And as you say, we've got to be careful when we bring in new owners in. They don't make things worse, or even worse, make it great for a very short time, and then it all goes pack of cards. So I understand why you're a bit nervous, but Trevella, so far they've done everything they said they'd do.
Yeah, I think that's what I've been looking, and a few others I'm sure have been looking to see what they've been doing over with you guys to see, especially off the pitch. I know they had set out to take the stadium, was it over, and
that's it. Yeah, to buy the stadium.
Within about a year or two. So, like, we have a stadium that's it's not fit for purpose, and it's like for any sort of professional league. Majority of the stadiums here are falling. Like good amounts of them would be not suitable for even League 2, League 1 clubs in England. So
no,
it's basically just a cow shed, a few sheds. And,
what sort of attendance do you normally get at Drogheda?
Well, I'd say this season we've had a better attendance in the around the ground for the last, compared to previous years. We're getting about 2,000 average now.
Okay.
Home games, about 1,900. We have a 39% growth on last season, I think it is, which is the highest, I think, in the League of Ireland, Premier Division in attendances. So, we used to be getting about, I think pre-COVID it was about 700 or something, 600, 700.
It's really stepping up then, isn't it?
So
I think the Irish game is really improving.
I think after COVID, everyone kind of had a football fever for wanting to see games in the league and stuff, because no one was able to go to matches within any sort of game of football within England or even here. So I think when the restrictions were lifted, brought everything back, and everyone was wanting to go and see a game of football. And I think across the whole league, attendance has just shot up. So our attendance now is usually around 2,000, especially when it's at the big games. like our stadium can hold about 3,000 or so. But I think health and safety reasons, it's down at 2,500, I think now. So
yeah, I think
we can get that sold out for big games like our derby matches against Dundalk every season at the moment. Like 2 games against them, they are always sold out. Games against the champion Shamrock Rovers or Bohemians or anything like that.
That's good. So I think Trevella will probably help to maybe build the new ground.
Yeah, we've been looking for that for a long time. I think in the early 2000s, it's around 2007 after we won the league title and stuff. There was a lot of money thrown at that, and it didn't go too well. So it didn't. Our stadium plans fell through there, and it's been mooted about for the last decade or so now. But we have the government don't have, the FAI don't have the funds, and the government won't fund it. So
no. I think when you're limiting how many people you can get in there on health and safety grounds, I think if that's not a signal that, hang on, a bit of investment here is going to be well worth it. It definitely looks like an excellent growth opportunity.
I think it does. Drogheda is a massive, it's a growing town. So it is it's situated in between Dublin and Belfast along that line. So
yeah,
it's right there in the middle, about 30 minutes from Dublin. Businesses can grow here as well, and it's growing bigger, the town itself. I think there's over 40,000 now. So the club itself and the football can grow here as well to become a bigger, better town.
In Ireland, the biggest sport is Gaelic football, isn't it?
It is, yeah. The GAA is massive here, so it is between Gaelic and hurling. It's the number one.
What kind of attendances they get for Gaelic football?
Well, all Ireland all Ireland's would be in the town. I'd say more than 20,000. Some of them, 15, 20s. All Ireland finals would be 60, 70, 80,000. It'd be massive crowds at that.
Yeah. So it's just it's slowly converting them to football.
We're trying to build the football up, so we are again. We've been trying. I think we've been trying to do it for a long time, but a lot of the stadiums just aren't up to scratch. So they aren't for families and for bringing new people in. Some clubs have a lot of plans for them, like Bohemians have plans to do up their ground to it's getting knocked down and stands rebuilt and stuff. And I think another club up in Northern Ireland, Finn Harps around Donegal, they have plans for one in the future. Sligo, they all have sort of plans mooted about for infrastructure.
It's just people with the money to come in and get that investment going, isn't it?
It's just people with money and needing money to build them, because the FAI can't fund it, and the government, I'm not sure whether the Irish government want to fund it either. So it's kind of all up in the air. I suppose external investment is going to have to do the job for us, if that's possible.
Well, sometimes it is. That's the way things get developed, isn't it? Private investment rather than the public money. And but the private investors are generally smart, aren't they? They don't throw money away very often.
I think from looking at Trevella, I think they will be happy enough to do the job, I would hope anyways. Even if it's a short term in our current stadium, for now, being able to improve, I don't know, toilets. The toilets are dreadful. Things like toilets, the roof on our current ground, maybe do it up a little bit, because we're still going to be here for another 3 or 4 years or something. Just to make it a little bit more, for families and stuff who haven't been at the ground before, just try and make it a bit nicer for new people to come, and maybe get a temporary stand behind the goal or something. I think if they were to make small little adjustments to the current ground while all that's ongoing, would be very good.
I think because football as a global brand is obviously massive and way bigger than Gaelic football. So there is definitely a growth opportunity there. And as you say, if you just increase the facilities, improve the facilities, give people a reason not to avoid going. It's the almost the case, isn't it?
Yeah,
As you say, covering stands and giving people comfortable environment to be in all the year round. That's,
yeah, that's
the way to go.
one of the main things that we want anyways, like is the infrastructure and like training facilities as well. We don't have any training facilities at all that are in our own name. Like I think the players at the moment use a local local college,
Yeah,
which only has one pitch, so it does to train on, and like I'd say other local clubs, smaller clubs around the town would want to use that as well. So we need probably our own training facilities, youth setup, all that as well.
it's like converting it from an amateur to a
yeah,
professional
it's like we're
business,
a
isn't it?
part-time club, and like we're punching well above our weight now at the moment, being in the Premier Division. So yeah, with the budget that we've been using for the past 3-4 years, definitely punching above our weight, which is good for the to be in the Premier Division and to be playing quite well at times and to be fighting up against the best teams in the country.
Yeah, I've seen a few highlights. The red flares seem to be the order of the day.
Yeah, it's
is that a regular thing, or is that just for the local derby?
I think it's a big thing in Ireland, across all of Irish clubs, is the flares and smoke bombs and all that sort of thing. It's quite
they
hard
don't like that in England too much.
They are banned, so they are banned. We're not allowed them really, so we're not. But it's for the last decade or so or longer they've been used, and they've added to the atmosphere of games, like especially at derby games or even away games and stuff. So it adds to everything that games, even though they're not allowed.
It's a bit of a balance there, isn't it? Because you've got things like the flares and the madness that goes along with that, and then you're balancing that with the fact that you want to introduce families and have more families come in.
Yeah, I think what needs to be done there is there needs to be a discussion between the FAI and clubs and supporters on a more safer way of using flares and stuff. Like I'm sure in European football, like Belgium and other countries where it's more predominantly used, they have safer ways of using it. So I personally would like a discussion on clubs and fans with the Football Association to try and like safely use them.
Yeah, I think when people would be a bit nervous if they came from England over to Drogheda, and there was flares going off. I think
it's
mild panic. And if you guys come to England for pre-season, which is possible, I think. You need to make sure you don't bring any flares with you, I think.
Yeah, no,
I don't think that would go down well.
I'd say for pre-season, we don't. No one really is using them for pre-season or anything like that now. Thankfully.
As far as the partnership between the clubs, we are brothers now, of course. Or when it goes through, we'll be sort of brothers under the Fravella banner. And sharing of players, I think, is good. One player we need to mention is Freddie Draper, who came to yourselves, did very well, didn't he? Freddie Draper.
Did, yeah, he came in. I think it was at the end of January from Lincoln to us. We had a good partnership with Lincoln City for the past 2 years. I think it was in 2021. They sent over Sean Rowan and Sam Long, defender and the goalkeeper, on loan to us for half a season. And I mean, Sam Long is exceptional, so he was for us in goals for that half a season. He's one of the best keepers I've seen, best young keepers I've seen in a long time. And Sean Rowan as well is another fantastic player. He was 18 when he came over, and top player at the back and a young player. And he did quite well. Both of them did exceptionally. And I think Sam now is over in Scotland, and Sean is playing with Lincoln's first team now. So
now he's going to, yeah, I think that's where
with
Freddie
Freddie,
is going to end up, I think.
Yeah, with Freddie, like he came in and he did exceptionally well. The first few games, he wasn't scoring the goals, but he was missing a lot of opportunities. But he was always working hard off the ball.
Yeah,
and I think that's what everyone bought into about him, was he would just continue working really hard without the ball to try and upset defenders and try and get in the mix, and like he was just exceptional at doing that. And then obviously the goals ended up following him before he went back to Lincoln and then over to you guys.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's doing well for Walsall. He's keeping Danny Johnson out of the team, and Danny Johnson was sort of very highly regarded. He was our signing of the season, of the close season, and he's not been playing because Freddie Draper is keeping him out of the side pretty much.
I have watched the game recently there on Saturday's game against
the 4-1 against Gillingham. Yeah, what a game!
I watched that game against Gillingham there just to see, and I was quite impressed with a few players there.
Yeah, well, Isaac Hutchinson did particularly well.
Yeah, very enjoyable now to watch.
Oh yeah, you're not kidding. Yeah, we'll have to get some of you guys over to Walsall, and hopefully it's as good a game as that. And you can also get us on iFollow as well.
Yeah, I'll be having a look. I won't be watching the game this week though, because we're playing on Friday as well.
Are you playing Friday as well?
Yeah, so I won't be able to catch that one, unfortunately, because they're away, isn't it? So
yeah, that's it. Well, your guys will be able to catch up with my match day vlogs and that sort of stuff that we do on this channel.
We'll be having a look to see, because I usually watch match day vlogs of the other clubs or other supporters English clubs. So
that's it. And there's a couple of young players coming through at Walsall, which I think the way things are going, you're likely to get for next season. Because your season runs slightly different to ours, doesn't it?
Yeah, it runs through the summer, so it's from February to November. Yeah.
I've got you. Okay.
And then the cup final is the last thing for our domestic seasons, the big showpiece event for Irish football. I'd say that's on November 12th this year. I think it's in the Aviva Stadium.
We'll have to see whether we can get over there for that as well.
Yeah, it's Bohemians versus St. Patrick's, like two Dublin clubs. So we'll be hoping for a big crowd for that. Like I'll personally be going to it anyways. So I will, even though I don't particularly like the two clubs.
Yeah, I say two players that perhaps may be coming over to you. One is Ronan Mayer. He's an Irish lad.
I have heard. I have heard of him. I don't know much about him now, but
he's at Rushall Olympic at the moment on loan, and it is possible that he'll come back to the Walsall first team. But if he doesn't quite get back to the first team, it could be he's coming over and spending some time with you guys. We've also got a keeper, George Barrett, who possibly might come over to see you. And Dylan Thomas is a very young lad. He's only 17, I think, 16, 17. But he's sort of had a couple of cameos in around the first team. So I think for his development, it could work for you. And also, there's another striker, marvellous Marvin Onabyrak Hanlon. That's a difficult one to get your name out. He's on loan at the moment to Worcester City. I think it's Worcester City, exactly. Anyway, and they're about level 9, so it should be a nice step up. Going to Drogheda. So I think it's possible. It's possible that you might get to see Marv.
I think between the two clubs there will be player movement, anyways. So there will, if players come through here at Drogheda and they're doing quite well, who knows? They could end up Walsall as well. And obviously vice versa with Walsall players coming here on loan, particularly from the reserve or under 19s or under 21s or whatnot. So I think beneficial for young players to get game time as well. So definitely,
I think the problem with Walsall, I think we don't have a reserve team as such. So for us to get game time into younger players, we need to send them out on loan. So sending them somewhere where we've got a good understanding with the club, that could work very well for us, I think.
I think with us, we've been bringing through young players in the first team for quite a while now, since probably 2018, I'd say. We've been bringing through a lot of young players, and some of the players have went on to play now in England. Killian Phillips is a player who went from the Drogheda first team in 2021 over to Crystal Palace, I think it was, for about 50,000 with add-ons. Back in the end of the 21 season, and then he went on loan last season to Shrewsbury, I think, in League One, and he won in the 6 months he was there. He won Player of the Year, and he's at Wycombe Wanderers now on loan for this season. So we've brought bringing through good young players, obviously helping with the development of Freddie and Sean Rowan and Sam Long and a few other players as well.
Yeah,
I think it'd be beneficial for young players to come over.
There's one guy I've got in mind. I think it's your centre half that there's speculation in the transfer window.
Connor Keeley. Connor Keeley, is it? Yeah.
Connor Keeley, that's it. He's a right-sided centre half, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been fantastic this year, so he has for us. He I think it was Notts County, I believe, who had 2 bids rejected.
Yeah.
Coming up to the end of the summer transfer window. So it was they didn't really want to let him go with safety up in the air for us. I think that was more important than selling him for about 20k or whatever it might have been.
Yeah.
So said no on that, and everybody's contract is running out anyways. It's a year-long contract pretty much for League of Ireland players, for our players anyways. So he'll be free to, I imagine, talk to whoever he wants to talk to as the season comes to an end.
It'd be nice if he comes Walsall way, wouldn't he?
I think so. I have no idea what way he'll be going, whether it's Notts County or Walsall.
I think regardless of the Travella connection and the band of brothers, as it were, money talks, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. We'll see how it goes now, so we will. Because I'm sure there'll be friendly matches between the two clubs if it does go through in pre-season.
Yeah, I think that's definitely. I think we may come over and see you guys for a friendly, or you come over and see us definitely at this close season, I would say.
Yeah, if it does go through next pre-season, I'm sure Walsall might have a game over here. I would be highly sure of it.
That's it. Time to sample the Guinness, and
it'd be a good trip now. So it would.
Well, that's it. Quite enjoyed the just before we finish. Any strikers you think that are heading looking particularly good for you at the minute?
Well, strikers, we've been struggling at the moment for ourselves since Freddie left for goals. Goals were probably spread about the team more so. Yeah. Few defenders, our right wingers got in with a few left, like Adam Foley, Dale Rooney, left winger, scored a few crackers this year. So we have, I'd say we have the whole goal of the season competition wrapped up for the League of Ireland in our own players. So we do. We have about 6 or 7 fantastic goal of the season contenders.
Oh, excellent!
Out of them all.
And is there a YouTube channel over there?
It's mostly for highlights of games like within the league. So I think it would probably be the FAI's one, or we do have one ourselves. I think there is a Drogheda United YouTube channel that just uploads highlights of the games at the weekend from the live stream on LOI TV. So I'm sure that's on there as well. And there's obviously some interviews and stuff as well.
As you know, on here we do match previews, match day vlogs, match reactions, and then we have a fan chat every month. And then anything that's happening at Walsall, we have sort of Walsall Fan TV insights. So we're talking to former players and different things, such as this, with different things that are going on. So it's all fun. It's all fun times, all fun stuff.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic, hopefully thing that like between Trevella now, and I'm sure that I'd say it would definitely be a yes vote. I definitely think it's going to go through, but there will be obviously a few concerned people and people with questions, and there's going to be an open forum here in Drogheda on the 2nd of November for all of our supporters to attend with the Trevella representatives. I don't know who is going to be there, but I imagine I don't know if Ben Boycott will be there.
Ben. I think Ben's probably going to cover both, isn't he? I think.
Yeah, if it goes through, he'll be the co-chairman, and I think Wesley.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm sure a few of them will be there for answering questions in Drogheda for our supporters. Well, whoever has questions and concerns, which I know there's a few people who will, but hopefully they'll be able to clear things up, and the vote will be pretty much a few days after the final game of the season on November 6th.
So, I think people naturally, and I've come across this in my career as a lean manufacturing specialist. People are resistant to change, so change has to be dealt with very carefully and very collaboratively. And I think Trevella have shown that they're good at that.
Yeah, I think we've been in a predicament before in the late 2000s where to win league titles, where we were the best in the country at that time, we were throwing money. Whoever was in charge back then, they were throwing money at the playing squad, and we did win trophies. We won the league. We won the Premier Division. We won the FAI Cup. We won the Tanta Cups. We played in the UEFA Cup and the Champions League. We narrowly lost against Dynamo Kiev in 2008, 4-3, I think it was. Very close to knocking them out on the away goal rule. So I think back then we threw money at it, and it ended up coming back to bite us in the end.
Yeah.
Because in 2011 the club almost went bust. So thankfully the supporters saved the club, and we've been operating at part-time since then. So I think now would probably be the right time and the right step to go and progress the club with someone who wants to invest on and off the pitch.
Yeah. I think you don't want a big time Charlie just coming in with a bit of money for a couple of years.
I think a lot of people would say we want to gradually improve every year on the pitch as well, of course. And if we can win a few trophies along the way, and maybe get European football along the way, I think everyone would be happy with that. And we don't really, obviously, you want to win stuff in football, so you do, and you want to go on these European away days across the place, across Europe, and but you have to know what you're doing. You don't want to throw things overboard. You have to be cautious with what you're doing with the club and what money you're spending. So I definitely think if we can do that, I'd be very happy myself now.
Yeah. I think in England there's been a lot of instances where chairmen have sort of overextended themselves, and then ultimately they've got in trouble financially.
Yeah, like I kept an eye on the Scunthorpe United and Southend situations between the two clubs and their ownership issues. But thankfully, I think they might have been resolved now, hopefully. So
I think so. I think more especially with Trevella, they seem much more stable and more committed to the long term. That's what it appears. Obviously, we've not known them for that long, but they're doing what they said they'd do, and they're being consistent, and hopefully help Walsall get back into League One and start climbing the pyramid slowly.
And hopefully you can do that. Hopefully you can do that as well, because it's a long season as well, and do have good players at Walsall. So there's a lot of tough teams in League Two with Wrexham and their money bags of Ryan Reynolds and Notts County as well. So it's a tough division to get out of. So it is.
It is, especially this season. This season is madness, really. But we shall see. We shall see.
We'll see how it goes, and I'm sure this will all go through, and we'll be over. We'll be having a connection with both clubs, a partnership of sorts as well. So
that's it, and it'd be good. We'll get you back on again when around when we're having our pre-season friendlies.
Yeah, definitely as well. When we have that going on, I'm sure that'll be happening in the summer. Ahead of your pre-season, I think it would be, because we'll be on. We'll probably be
yeah,
mid-season break.
Yours, isn't it? Because well, maybe we'll put a team out to you in January as part of your pre-season.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe a reserves or like an under 90, like an under 23 squad or something. Because it is a busy schedule playing in League Two and with FA Cup action.
Yeah, because of the mismatch on where the season is, that does make things a little bit tough, doesn't it?
I think the summertime's more likely due to the pre-season in England, and then we usually have a mid-season break or like a small break of 2 weeks. So
that would make more sense then.
It would fit in perfectly then. So it would. And there's a lot in the town, like there's pub, like you get everything like pubs and all that, and for atmosphere and stuff as well. So there's a lot around, before the game. There's a few different pubs that supporters go to.
I think there's a lot of Walsall fans who like to travel away, who are rubbing their hands at the thought of a visit to Ireland.
Yeah, there'll be
definitely a every away game. I don't get to every away game, but I think a trip to Ireland sounds like a fun time.
I definitely think it would be fun, so it would.
Yeah.
Hopefully it all goes through, and we'll be able to do that in the summertime or whenever it might be.
That's it. And the mantra of the channel, you'll be familiar with this, is the joy and the pain.
The joy and the pain, yeah. I don't know much about it now, but I definitely definitely in the joy and the pain of football anyways.
Well, the joy and the pain, Walsall experienced the joy and the pain last 2 games, 4-0 defeat and then 4-1 home. That's joy and the pain sort of captured perfectly there.
Good reaction to that.
Thanks for coming on. We're going to get you back on when we got a pre-season thingy coming on. That'll be perfect, won't it?
Hopefully all goes well, and we get our questions answered at the forum and at the
I'm sure you will.
the votes as well, and hopefully it all goes through, and there'll be a new era for our club as well, especially.
That's it, and the brothers will be united.
And then we'll have a new brother club at Walsall in England, so alongside our brother club in Turkey.
Oh, you've got one in Turkey as well?
We do, yeah. We have a link with Trabzonspor in Turkey.
Trabzonspor, yeah.
Which is a big Turkish club, but that's a whole different story. That one.
That's one for another time, perhaps. That's
a whole another story on the famine and all. So in Ireland.
Excellent, nice one. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for listening. Walsall Fan TV. We'll be back soon. Looking forward to Friday. Away to Newport. We're going to have a watch along. We're watching our iFollow. And we're having a watch along chat during the game. So thanks everybody. Thanks for watching. Cheers. And we get you soon.